Turn with me, if you would, to Ephesians chapter 4. I'm going to read into your hearing verses 26 through 30. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26 through 30. It says something that might seem a bit of conflict for some, but those of us who have this power understand how to apply. Amen. It says this: be angry and do not sin. Wait a minute. Be angry and do not sin. Do not let, somebody say let. Do not let the sun go down on your wrath, nor give place to the devil. Let him who stole steal no longer, but rather let him labor, working with his hands what is good, that he may have something to give him who has need. Let no corrupt word proceed out of your mouth, but what is good for necessary edification, that it may impart grace to the hearers. And, we in that season, and, somebody say and, do not grieve the Holy Spirit of God, by whom you were sealed for the day of redemption. You can have your seats. Your series for this month is called No Quarter. Somebody say no quarter. Let's get into it. Let's dive right in. Serving the kingdom includes the duties of a century. The duties of a century. The century is stationed and equipped to keep guard and control access to a place. Any of you that have ever been by a military installation or a place that requires security, you will come up to a gate of some sort and you will see a guard, sometimes called a sentry, who will be on post. And it is his job to control access. Who gets in, and not only who gets in, but what gets in. Does that make sense? So he has to watch this gate. He has access, control to a place. So in other words, we're talking about entry points. Somebody say entry points. And we got to understand that all entry points have dual natures. Because entry points are also what? Exit points. Does that make sense? So when we think about it, we can't just think about it in one-dimensional terms. We have to understand that it works both ways. The door works going in, and the door also works going out. That makes sense to anybody? We must recognize sensory gateways. Sensory gateways, which are physical. Now, we know our sensory gateways: your sight, your smell, your touch, your taste, your hearing. These are all sensory gateways, and sometimes we deal with guarding those sensory gateways. We're not going to talk about those too much today, but I want you to know that you have to be aware of those as well. You have to be careful with what you touch. Quiet as kept, you got to be careful with what you watch. Amen? Because whatever comes into your gates, it comes in because it wants to be consumed. And anything that you consume is destined to become a part of you, for better or for worse. You also have to be careful with what you hear. And sometimes you cannot help what you hear, but you can help what you listen to. Because some of us have heard things, but then we begin to tune in. Some of us heard the enemy talking, but then we tuned in to see what he had to say. That's what happened in the garden, by the way. They tuned in. And he was speaking that foreign language. He was speaking lies. Do you understand what I'm telling you? And so we have to watch those, but we have to watch those sensory gateways as well as psychological gateways. Now, the psychological gateways are a bit more complex. Because the psychological gateways deal with mental and emotional gateways. And the mental and the emotional gateways, and I know in church, I know where we are, I know. But the mental and the emotional gateways are something that sometimes we don't deal with enough. It's easy to see something coming. And we know if something is hot, once you got educated about that stove being hot, you won't reach out and touch it too much. But it's the mind. And what we have to always be confident of is that there's always a warfare being waged for or in your mind. Does that make sense? The enemy is constantly battling to get access to your mind. I'll deal with that a little bit. Everybody hear what I'm saying so far? So these emotional gateways, these mental gateways are entry points whereby vigilance is necessary because vulnerability is inherent. Did you hear what I just said? Vigilance is necessary because vulnerability is inherited. Your eyes are very vulnerable. Sometimes, anybody ever saw something they didn't want to see? But now that you saw it, you can't unsee it. Your eyes are vulnerable. Anybody ever heard something you didn't want to hear? You tried not to hear it, but you heard it anyway. Your ears are vulnerable. You cannot function optimally without keeping some of these gates open. That means that you have to place a sentry there. And I hate to disrupt some of our thought pattern, but guess who the sentry is? The sentry is you. The Lord will fight my battles. I know. I know He will. I know He can. I know He has. I know He will continue to. But everything about our belief means that our participation must be present. Does that make sense? Because sometimes God will say, I'm going to fight your battle and you best not touch nothing. But then sometimes He's going to send you into battle and you better put your hands on some things. You understand what I'm telling you? You got to know your orders. You got to know your rules of engagement. You understand what I'm telling you? Everybody hear what I'm saying so far? And so vigilance and vulnerability, but because vigilance is necessary, the vulnerability is inherent. And so I want you to think about these two things is because, when we get into relationships, and I'm talking about, romance, that type of relationship, amen? Before you get into a relationship with them, there's this thing that happens to us, and we say, I'm crushing. Oh, y'all ain't never heard that? I'm crushing on. I got a crush on them. Right? Monday morning crush. Right? Right? Wednesday, whatever day that they put it on, you got a crush on somebody. Ain't that something? Anybody? Okay, I know y'all don't want to raise your hand, but anybody had a crush on somebody in here? I had a crush on my wife, still do. Lord, it was thank you. So you were crushing hard. But if that person didn't in return have a crush on you, then it crushed you. That's right. Oh, anybody ever been rejected by something you thought you liked and you felt crushed? Anybody be in a relationship for a good amount of time, whatever that amount of time was, and you thought it was going one way, and it went a whole other way, and you felt crushed? Hold on, so how is the same person I had a crush on now crushing me? Come on now. Come on. Because access works like this. Once you allow someone access, you have now become vulnerable to them. And you cannot build trust unless you surrender your vulnerability. Wow. Come on now, Pastor. Come on, right? Work it. You cannot build trust unless you got to, because if you're going to be in a relationship, I'm talking about covenant relationship with somebody, you got to surrender your vulnerability. You got to give them access. This is why we have sometimes difficulty building a relationship with God, because we don't want to let Him all the way in. I let you into my present, but I don't want you to deal with my past because my past is ugly. As if He doesn't know it. But then the past will. Isn't it interesting how a lot of times, I won't say most times, but a lot of times it's our past that comes to get us? And not what presently is happening? It'll be our past kind of sneak up on us. Well, did you ever talk to your covenant covering about it? All right. Did you ever say, you know what, I'm still dealing with this hurt from here. I'm still dealing with this pain from here, and I need you to help me talk through this. I'm going to be vulnerable. Come on now, come on. Because I want to trust you all the way. All the way. Does that make sense? Yes. If we say take your burdens to the Lord and leave them there, you have to at least take it to him, right? And some of us still have burdens because we won't take burdens. We still have burdens because we won't take them. Never mind. All right, so we come back over here to the text. I want to deal with this. Get the principle. Emotions have their cause, but they cannot infiltrate command. Emotions have their cause, but they cannot infiltrate command. The text says, be angry, don't sin. Don't let, somebody say let. Don't let the sun set on your wrath. In other words, clear the place. Clear the place. You a century, you got to clear the place sometimes. Sometimes stuff does snuck in. It snuck in another way. It wasn't on your gate. It wasn't on the gate you were watching, but it was in somebody else's gate. But if we be honest, a lot of stuff came through our gate. And you were suspicious, but you said, oh, I'll let it slide this time. What do we say? It ain't going to hurt if I do it just this. Yeah, right. Yeah. We've got to be responsible and say, I ain't let it in. Come on. Now, everything that's going on with you isn't your fault. So I'm not painting that picture. But I do need us to take ownership of the things that are. Because quiet has kept a lot of hurt that we're dealing with is because we let the hurt in the first place. Okay. I don't like this. I want to go home. Get on your game. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you got to clear the place of all non-kingdom entities by sundown. Okay. I got to clear everything that's not kingdom in me, but I got a time punch. I got to get it out of me by sundown. If it happened to me in the morning and it's wearing me all day, I see that. I'm literally talking about as I see the sun setting, I need to get rid of that thing. Because quiet as it kept, see, we live flip. See, when the sun is setting, it's actually the beginning of a new day. Never mind, y'all see what I'm saying? I got to get it. I got to let this thing go so that I can experience a brand new day. Anybody need a new day? Yeah. Don't push me. Okay. But do you understand what I'm saying? I got to get rid of it by sundown. Somebody say by sundown. Listen close. Anger without proper ventilation is explosive and implosive. Yeah. It's explosive and implosive. That means that it's destruction, either that you will cause something that somebody on the outside of you blow up on them. Anybody been angry or something, and then you took it out on somebody else? You blew up on them? That was the explosive. But there are some things that happen to us to where we implode, and they explode inside of us. And it causes massive destruction. But what this text is telling us to do is telling us that we got to operate like EOD. Yeah. That means that we got to be ordinance disposal. Does that make sense? We got to have ordinance disposal. And what we need to do is we need to detect. Somebody say detect. I know it's upsetting me. I know it's bothering me. Sometimes anybody ever say this right there? It's not bothering me. But in the back of your mind, that thing is you trying to put on a good face. You trying to be that good Christian. It's not bothering me. It's not bothering me, and that thing is behind your right eye. You're right eye. Ain't nobody ever got the eye start twitching with their head. I'm fine. No, you're not. You about to explode on somebody. That thing is just turning, and it's turning so. Once I become aware that something is frustrating me, I don't need to get a sense of guilt. Guess what? The Bible just told you, be angry, do not sin. The emotion isn't your problem. The problem is you're letting your emotions take command. They have their cause. Say they have their cause. but they cannot take command. They cannot take command. So I have a right by the Bible, by the Word of God, to be angry. I can be angry. Somebody need to get a release right now. You have a right to be angry. Oh, see, y'all don't want to get free up in here. I said you got a right to be angry. Everybody's been telling you you should be angry. You should be mad at that. That's what's wrong with you. That's why you're ready to explode on the inside. Because everybody's been telling you how you should feel. I'm telling you, feel how you want to feel, but make sure that you take control of the situation. I feel like I'm about to explode. Somebody said one more thing to me. I just might blow up. One more thing. Oh, come on. I know now y'all laying right now. One more thing. Okay. Y'all know what this means. Okay. Father in Jesus. Lord, help us. Right? You're ready to blow up on somebody. And that's all right. Because now you detected it. You took your first step. The problem is that most of us detect it, but we don't do anything else with it. We detect it, but then we let it detonate. But once you detect it, you must disarm it. You got to diffuse the situation. You got to say, I'm angry. But I got to calm down. Sometimes that means walking away. Sometimes that means praying. Sometimes that means, I guarantee you won't be so angry if you start praying, right? I guarantee you that anger will subside. I'm not saying it's going to solve itself, but I guarantee you it would at least diffuse the situation. Father, help me right now. And for real. And you can grit your teeth when you pray, because I've been gritting my teeth plenty to pray. Father, in the name of Jesus. But I guarantee you by the time you get to the end of that prayer, your tone won't change. Because you're going to realize who you're talking to. And when you know you're talking with your father, your tone changes. Anybody ever blew up on their father and then you realize who you was talking to? Man, I'll tell you. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Let me make sure that you brought me in this world and you're taking me out. You understand what I'm saying? So it calms you down and then you're able to talk out. I'm not saying this will vanish overnight, people. But what I'm saying is that you need to learn how to calm down. Bring it to somebody. Take it to God. Take it to somebody. Calm. Somebody say calm down. Say keep calm. And carry on. All right. Keep calm. I gotta keep calm. Don't be false about it. I'm still mad. Because check this out. I can be angry and not explode. That's what the Bible is saying. I'm upset, but I'm not going to explode on somebody. It's a little fruit of nurturing of the spirit. I know we call it fruit of the spirit. It's a nurturing of the spirit called temperance, self-control. Yeah, it's that one. Yeah. And so, gotta learn how to calm down. So once we detect it, and once we disarm it, now this next portion, because it's tentative on time, because sometimes things take longer than the next to get over or to move on from. Because some things, guess what, you're not going to get over. Oh, Lord. Did he just say that? There were some things that you're not going to get over, but you must move on from. Because you can't get stuck in a place that can detonate. Wow. So what you must do at this time is now dispose of it. Sometimes disposing of it is literally being like, I am over it. That's one way. Then another way is, God, I'm going to give it to you because I can't figure this thing out. And if I keep it, I'm going to explode. But remember, when you give it to him, leave it with him. Does that make sense? Don't go back and check. Don't go back and check. It don't make no sense to bury something and then go pull it back up and then, why does it stink? Because you just picked up a dead, you just unburied, you exhumed a dead thing. And check this out, if you exhume certain dead things, they may detonate in your face. All right. Yeah. That's some ordinance that when we was out there, they couldn't find a way to detonate it. So what they did was they buried that thing. And they put some caution around it. They said, look, don't you go digging here. All right now. Because as long as you leave this area alone, nothing gonna happen. But if you come back around here trying to dig this thing up, because we were not able to disarm it right now. We might need to bring in another crew at another time to disarm it, but we couldn't disarm it. So what we did was we buried it and we marked the grave site. Does that make sense? We marked the grave site. Don't come visiting that grave site trying to dig up old stuff. Because it might detonate in you. Never mind, let me go back to the text. You follow me? Yes. And so, the word says, give no place to the devil. Somebody say no quarter. No quarter. No quarter. This tells me we need psychological counterintelligence. I know that's a big word. But psychological counterintelligence, how does the word of God give us psychological counterintelligence? It's right here in the text. It's mental and or emotional countermeasures for foreign powers. Yeah, that's what counterintelligence is. It's countermeasures for foreign powers. Because what happens with foreign powers is before they go into war sometimes is they send spies. They send spies to see where your weaknesses are, to expose your weaknesses, and they say, this is where you need to hit them. This is why when you're strong in God, this is why sometimes the enemy will send stuff to your children, because he knows that's a vulnerability. He'll send things to your spouse because he knows that's a vulnerability. He might send stuff to your job because he knows that's where your vulnerability is. And you say, I'm strong in God. Yeah, you are. And you may be. But you got vulnerabilities. And the enemy will try to expose them, I guarantee you. Yes. That's why you got to remain vigilant. Does that make sense to anybody? And so, consider this. Unchecked emotions facilitate entry points for the enemy. Unchecked emotions, that means the emotions that I have not dealt with, that I refuse to deal with because they're shameful, because they're frustrating, because they enrage me. I won't deal with them, so they're unchecked. Nothing can enter into your gates unchecked. All right now. Does that make sense? That's why the Bible tells you to be sober. Huh? Does that make sense? So I have to be watchful what's coming in because I can't let things go unchecked. So this unchecked emotions facilitate entry points for the enemy. I want you to hold that thought. Now the next thing, and it's going to kind of take us on a tangent, but we'll come right back because it's in the text. But the next thing, transformation of mind should also translate in a conversion of method. I'll say it again. Transformation of mind should also translate in a conversation, in a conversion of method. Now, per the text, somebody say let the thief steal no longer. Let him labor what is good, giving to those in need. Let no corrupt word proceed, but edify and impart grace. These are countermeasures. So for the thief, I know that there was something that was innate in you that caused you to have to put your hands on things. So what I want to do is take that same energy and convert it. See, when God converts you, he also converts your energy. That's why you use your energy differently. Amen? It's the same you doing the will of God was the same you that was clubbing. Robbing, stealing, smoking, whatever your vice was, it's the same you. It's the same you. What's happened is you're using your energy differently. Does that make sense? Yeah. Say, I got to use my energy differently. Yeah. I got to use my energy differently. I can't use my energy to do things that I shouldn't. I got to use it to do good. And he gives me the power to do that. It's according to the power that works in us, right? So that power has to work in you. That makes sense? But let him labor what is good, give it to those in need. Because a lot of times sometimes those that steal, some people steal because they feel that that's the only way that they can get things that they need. Wow. But some people steal because they're greedy. Yeah. Come on. Right? And so what the Word of God says is that you need to reverse that mindset because you ought to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So instead of taking things that you really don't need, you need to give to those who actually do. Yeah, right. There you have it. Right? So I know you used to guard yourself, but I need you to guard yourself differently. You're not guarding yourself to keep yourself away from people. You're guarding yourself so that you can minister properly. Does that make sense? This is why you can't let everybody in. Yeah, for real. Okay. For real. Okay. So the significance of the let is predicated on our consent. Let me say that again. The significance of the let is predicated on our consent. Y'all remember that scripture from last week? Let this light so shine in you. That means that you have to give consent to whatever you let in and to whatever you utilize. Does it make sense? If I give you a gift and you don't use it, you let yourself receive the gift, but didn't let yourself use the gift. This is frustrating to the person who gave you the gift. If you can understand that magnified times infinity, then you'll have an ounce of understanding what God goes through. He's like, I gave you this. Please use it. I gave you this word. Please use it. God, give me the Holy Ghost. I gave you the Holy Ghost and you grieve it. Then I'll get back to the text. These are countermeasures. Predicated on that. So the significance of the let is predicated on our consent, which lets things in. In other words, I have to understand, I have to be able to differentiate between allies and enemies. That makes sense? And sometimes enemies will look like allies. And sometimes allies will look like enemies. Because I know some of y'all won't say this, but sometimes when the Holy Ghost be telling you the right thing to do, don't you be want to fight him sometimes? Yes. Okay, he said, okay, nobody gonna say that one right there, right? You know that you weren't supposed to do what you was doing, like, oh, I wish I didn't feel that way. Okay. Some of us have to fight to sin. Yes. So true. Listen. Okay, you don't want to admit it. Some of us have to fight to sin. Some of us don't just land in sin. Some of us are fighting ourselves all the way in that jungle. I know I shouldn't. I know better than this. Mama told me. Pastor told me. Word of God told me. I just finished reading this last week. But I want to do it so bad. Wow. Oh, come on. I know it's your sanctified self. You ain't never fought against the Holy Ghost to do what you want to do. I know it's never happened to none of y'all, so I'm going to just talk about myself. Sorry, you're talking good. But I've had to fight the sin. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. For real. Yes. I had to fight the sin. It didn't just poof and it was there. It was like, I want to sin. Because it feels so good. Right? Everybody act like sin is so gross. There are certain sins that are gross to you. Certain ones that you would never do. Straight up. There are certain sins you would never do because they're gross to you. But there are certain sins... Y'all be careful now. You understand? I didn't want to, but it felt so good. Look at it. Okay. I know I shouldn't have ate that, but y'all thought I was going somewhere else. But it felt so good. You ever ate to the point you got miserable? Yes. You sitting there like you were hungry, but then you just kept going and kept going. Why did I do that to myself? Because it felt so good. Now you're miserable and full. You're literally full of misery. Okay, let me come back to the... Get this. An enemy in the gate is far more dangerous than an enemy at the gate. We always talk about there's an enemy at the gate. That means that he's not inside yet. I can deal with you. Come on with it. Because if I can't handle you, I can bring reinforcements. I see you coming, buddy. But it's the enemy in the gate. You know the most dangerous thing, the most vulnerable thing in a max security facility is he who holds the keys. The most vulnerable thing is a person whose thumbprints opens the doors, whose retinal scans opens the gate. That's the most vulnerable thing. You can lock down a facility. Lock it down. I think we got somebody working security here. You can lock security down, but if the security guard kind of crooked, it don't matter what the locks are. It don't matter how complex the code is. He know what the codes are. Some of us are like, how did this get in? You know why? Because you was on that pad like, how did it get in? You put your eyes on it, you put your hands on it, and then you let it in. Let me say it one more time. You put your eyes on it, you put your hands on it, and then you let it. Okay. This is why God said you can't get access to the garden, because you put your eyes on it, then you put your hands on it. Somebody say no quarter. No quarter. Some of us let anger conceal access for sin. We let anger conceal access for sin. Because I just told you, you have a right to be angry. And you do. But what you cannot do is let that anger turn into sin. Because if you watch, there's an escalation in the danger. He said, be angry, but sin not. And then he says, don't let the sun go down on your anger turn into wrath before it got eaten. And then he says, one more thing that escalates it even further. He says, give place to the devil. The anger wasn't the issue. It's when the anger snuck in sin and turned into wrath. And then the devil was like, I like this place. Let me get a foothold. Let me get a toehold. Let me get a foothold. Right one, okay. That's all I need. I can work from there. Because then I can start talking to other things that are inside you that still ain't really all the way worked out. Because you started being mad with Sister So-and-so. And that's how I got in. But that ain't even who I wanted. I really wanted him. So what I do is I start messing with this person so that they can tell me about them so I can find access to him. And I can destroy this relationship. I ain't even come for you. I came for him. But I know if I came for him, you would defend him. But if I came for her, you just might let me in. This is why when we be having friends and they be like, you got to choose between me and them. No, I don't. You ain't going to put me in the middle of your quarrel. The devil is a liar. No, you got a problem with so-and-so? Hey, since you done told me, hey, guess what? Let's go on a field trip. And if you don't want to come with me, I might have to cut you off because you are dangerous. I'm not cutting you off because you got a problem with them. I'm cutting you off because you might have a problem with me. I'm just telling you. I'm talking about real life stuff. That makes sense? Right here in the Bible. Right here in the Word. Anybody get some? So some of us let this anger conceal access for sin or let wrath remain after sunset when sin is much more seductive. And then, if we by the Holy Ghost, then it becomes embedded. And the worst warfare you want to fight is trench warfare. When the enemy has dug in, he has embedded himself. Because now it's not easy to fire at him from a distance. Now you got to come close quarters. When you should have had no quarters. Because when he's dug in, you can't just, you can't, he's dug in now. That's why some of them war wars, you see how gruesome and grisly, like, man, that is a nasty war to fight. That trench warfare is nasty. Because the enemy is dug in. He's on your turf. Dug in. How is it you let the enemy get all the way to your gate, start digging trenches? He get deeper and deeper, and now he's set in for the long haul. I'm not saying you can't win that fight, but you just made it more hard and more difficult for yourself. Does that make sense? God help me. It's after dark when temptation is more seductive. You know to do certain things, you like to have the lights off, don't you? Oh, come on. Come on. You like the lights down low. Right? Anybody ever went to, you got lit at the club, but you never went to a lit club? Matter of fact, when they turned on all the lights, that meant it was time to go. Even at the certain establishments, I'm talking about what I'm talking about, at certain establishments, you notice around the bar, the lights are real low. I'm doing okay. Or they have other kind of lighting. Okay, so now it's my time. Let's see how you deal with this thing in the dark. Because see, it's easy to fight when you can see your enemy. When you see your enemy, I see where you move. Okay, come on with it. But when you can't see him, where are you? Huh? Where are you? Can you see where you're going? I can only see them tracer rounds every now and again. Choo, choo. Y'all ever seen that? It's scary. If we are not vigilant, the enemy will weaponize our emotions and use them against us. I said if we are not vigilant, the enemy will weaponize our emotions and use them against us. He'll take how you were angry and they use it to cause conflict between you and your spouse, between you and your friend, between you and your brother, between you and relationships you know are covered. It's like, now I don't use your emotions. That's why sometimes like, I see, I always do that one for me. That person has been around you, for you, and everything. And they had a moment which y'all could have got past, but no, you let the emotions get the best of you. I didn't say you weren't going to always get along with everybody all day. That's not true. But sometimes we let a little thing to show a covenant relationship. Some of us, because somebody did something to us, we go burn the bridge before we even had a conversation. You ain't getting me here. That's the one that was supposed to be in there. Don't burn a bridge to a supply line. Let me say it one more time. Don't burn a bridge to a supply line. Satan uses unchecked emotions to infiltrate, get a foothold, and then attack. See, he just wants to get in first. I just want to get in. And at first, you might know that something's bothering you, but it hasn't really disrupted things yet. See, you're too comfortable. He said, I just want to get in, and then I'm going to attack from the inside. Because it's a lot more easy to attack from the inside. Even God understands this, right? He said, break the walls down, then attack. But before the walls came down and he attacked, didn't he send somebody inside? And it was one harlot who caused the city to collapse. But that was God. Okay, you don't think the enemy has been reading that story? Like, you know what? I bet you I can do the same thing. I bet you. Okay, hey. Okay. That's why you gotta be careful who you let in. Okay. Nobody can figure out Samson. They get him puzzled and he figure him out. But nobody can figure out Samson. What happened? Relationship. What relationship? Samson. Oh, Samson. Tell me where your strength comes from. Oh, and don't think that I'm just picking on females, because y'all know I come for y'all too, fellas, alright? Because some of us are dogs like that too. Hey, baby. Just give me that first paycheck. That's all I need, just a little help. Just give me that first paycheck. You know what I mean? You give me that first paycheck. I'll pay it back to you, dog. I got you. And then he take you out on the paycheck that you gave him. My man don't know how to treat me. I'm sorry. Let me cut to you. How did he get in here? Oh, trifling? You pay him. Oh, Lord. Somebody might have to actually change after this message. Imagine that. Either you're going to change or you're going to harbor the enemy, one of the two. And by the way, harboring the enemy is treasonous and deadly. You can have that one for free, as they say. So I got an encouragement for you. Soldier up. Somebody say soldier up. You soldier up, Century. Give no place to the devil. Somebody say no quarter. I got a little thing. I'm going to speak through it, I promise. Allied forces requires relationship. Allied forces requires relationship. Verse 30. Do not grieve the Holy Spirit, by whom you were sealed for the day of redemption. Grieving the Holy Ghost jeopardizes relationship with the superpower, the ally of my soul. When there were world wars, the world wars had countries involved, but you want to be attached to the right superpower. Does that make sense? You have the superpower on the inside of you. Does that make sense? You have the superpower, and what you don't want to do is cause dissension in the ranks. Are you hearing what I'm saying? No dissension in the ranks, because he's the ally to our soul. Listen real good. The redeeming ability, the redeeming capacity of God does not relinquish the responsibility of the century. Say that one more time. The redeeming capacity of God does not relinquish the responsibility of the century. So sometimes we're on our post and we'll say, well, God is my redeemer, but he's still giving you and I responsibility. Does that make sense? We receive God's grace, but receiving God's grace means you must do something with it. Does that make sense? Every time he gives somebody grace, what do? They do something with it. So he's given us his word to do something with it. Yes, God will fight your battles. He will. Well, some of those battles he's going to say, you need to put a sword in your hand and get to swinging. And so, as you knowing that God is our Redeemer, he's also given us a responsibility. Because he's put a superpower on the inside of us that's trying to tell us that there's a character conflict between you and I. You can't be a thief and we get along. You can't let corrupt words come out of your mouth and we get along. You can't let this sin just sit here in anguish, develop into wrath, and then give a foothold to the devil. Because me and the devil don't get along. And you got to choose today whom you're going to serve. Who you going to stick with. I got a direct supply line to the Father. Don't burn this bridge. Now, the enemy has a supply line too. The supply line of the Holy Ghost leads to eternal life. The supply line of the enemy leads to death. Which one you want? That makes sense to anybody? So say I have responsibility in my walk of faith. I got a responsibility. I have to do some things. Does that make sense? The question is, am I causing dissension in the race? Am I grieving my ally by letting the enemy get a foothold? I can't let the enemy get a foot, because you know what they say, if you give him a foot, you give him an inch, they'll take a mile. But I can't give him a foot, I can't even give that joker an inch. Somebody say no quarter. Don't give place to the devil. Now, no quarter means the victor. Anybody in here victor? Anybody here victor? They say, my name is Victory, and all them songs that we sing, you are the victor. You're more than a conqueror. So no quarter means the victor shows no clemency and provides no housing for the enemy. That means I show the enemy no mercy. I don't give him a place to rest at with me. Now around me, nothing. You can come at me this because I can't stop that. That's your assignment. You're gonna keep coming at me, but I'm sure not letting you in. You know how they say, if you let him ride, he can shoot him on drive. Y'all know that? It's don't make a lot of sense actually. But give no place to the enemy. Not in our emotions. Not in my emotions. Not through my emotions. Not from my emotions. Somebody say no quarter. No quarter. Give no place to the devil. No place to the devil. No quarter for the enemy. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Yes. You have a responsibility to have vigilance at your gates, your sensory gates. Make sure that you're sober. That makes sense? Yes. Your psychological gates. Make sure that you're sober and you're vigilant and you're watching what's coming in and what's coming out. Does that make sense? Yes. If it looks suspicious, you might want to check a little bit more. Don't be. Now is not the time to be gracious to things which are suspicious. Amen. Sometimes like, well, maybe I'm being too hard. No. Maybe the Holy Ghost is like, hey, you don't recognize them, but I do. Anybody else says something in me told me not to mess with them. But they look so good. They had the right business proposition. They talk so smooth. Right? They were attractive. Whatever the thing was, you didn't listen to that thing inside you. Well, let me correct your thinking. It's not a thing. That's right. The Holy Ghost is a being. Do you understand? The text says, whom will seal you? Whom will seal you? Don't break the seal. No quarter. Give God praise all over this place.